This series of insurrection hearings have revealed all kinds of new evidence and testimony from Trump veterans. The results are good for gathering the facts. But some Beltway elites have begun just heaping all kinds of praise on Trump officials for the bare minimum, like testifying at all, which is literally required under these subpoenas by law, or for people who simply did not commit crimes to stage a coup.
I can't tell you how grateful I was that Mike Pence was there. It could have been someone else. It could have been someone who would have succumbed to MAGA and Trump, but he didn't.
There may be a hero in the story that they're telling, and it sounds like it might be Mike Pence.
There were heroes, literally, in the story. The police officers, brave public servants, people who took actual risks at the time to try to stop what was the most organized violent attempt to thwart the peaceful transfer of power in U.S. history. But that does not apply to virtually all of the people we've been hearing from in these hearings. And the Trump aides have been providing testimony under subpoena. So they had to choose between following the law or facing the risk of prison. And even those who shared concerns did not blow the whistle at the time or resign. As for Pence, he did the bare minimum. He followed the law rather than join a criminal coup, taking an act his own lawyers warned was illegal, meaning, and this is important, he acted on his own self-interest. And yet, the latest Trump appointee to finally offer this tardy testimony under legal pressure, the man you see here, White House counsel Cipollone, went on yesterday to make a frankly embarrassing claim for any rational lawyer. He said that the act of not committing crimes is ground, in his view, grounds for receiving the nation's highest civilian honor.
I think the vice president did the right thing. I think he did the courageous thing. I have a great deal of respect for Vice President Pence. I think he did a great service to this country. And I think I suggested to somebody that he should be given the Presidential Medal of Freedom for his actions.
Come on. I guess I'll just take it apart real quick. By that standard, hundreds of millions of Americans would warrant the same medal because they did not join this criminal coup. Pence did what was required by law, and he did so after double-checking whether there was any legal cover for maybe trying something else, which is why we had to hear from all his lawyers, because they spent a lot of time exploring this. So at this moment, when so much seems upside down, it is worth realizing that all of this Beltway canonizing of people who did the bare minimum is backwards. And it can be dangerous in the way that it normalizes the idea that these are choices to make or tough calls. You are not a hero for declining to join a coup and then wavering and ducking about the details and your own political loyalties to the person who staged the coup while withholding information and testimony. Now, since Mr. Cipollone brought up the idea of that medal, here are some people who were actually awarded the Medal of Freedom by presidents in both parties, by the way, like people we should look to as doing more than the bare minimum of not committing crimes, but people who showed civic courage, like the late John Lewis.
John R. Lewis has dedicated his life to shattering barriers and fighting injustice.
I was hit in the head by a state trooper with a nightstick, and I had a concussion at the bridge. I thought I saw death. I thought I was going to die.
Mr. Mandela, a man who embodies the hopes of millions. Mr. Mandela, you said many years ago, before the first of your 10,000 days in prison, that there is no easy walk to freedom.
Mother Teresa is a heroine of our times.
The work is only a means to put our love for Christ into action, to work for the poorest of the poor.
We add with deep affection and endless respect the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
That is what Medal of Freedom recipients look like and act like and what they evince. So to Trump's White House counsel, tonight I say this, to paraphrase 3-6 Mafia, keep the Medal of Freedom out your mouth until you learn a bit more about what true civic courage entails, which apparently serving as a loyal Trump aide to the bitter end did not do for you, Mr. Cipollone. You were late. You were not on the job. And now, having been pressured into testifying under the threat of jail because they subpoenaed you, you don't get to lecture the nation about who gets the Medal of Freedom. And you're out of power. So thank goodness for that.